today, this week, how to get the government support in what we are doing for nuclear security detections. Give them knowledge and guidance to people on their roles that they could play. People do not understand, and the public doesn't understand what their roles and responsibility in nuclear security detections. Why do they need to know it? What is it important for them to understand that, right? And promotions of common terminologies that raising awareness among public for deterrent mechanisms, so they understand they have the roles to play. We could also be part of the detection system of the countries. Yeah, so this is the goals on why we are doing the awareness raising. So it goes the next element on workforce management. It is partly to ensure long-term availability of key human resources. So again, it goes back to our endless discussion about how do we address the job rotation policy for the law enforcement authorities. There is something that we can avoid. We can't compromise the fact that for integrity purposes, this organization has to be rotated. They have to be moved. So how do we go about? Are we going to stop this policy, or we should come up with a process or proposal on how can we work along with this policy? This is why we need to understand how does workforce management work. It gives the authorities sufficient financial, human, technical resources to fulfill and sustain their detection capabilities, to be sure that we can meet the needs of our detection architecture as we defined in the detection strategy, and of course to facilitate the development of enhancement for nuclear security detection. So workforce management is part of the elements that we have to consider when we develop nuclear security detections, and we've seen the results of not having a proper management or considerations of workforce element, particularly involving law enforcement for frontline officers. So we have to plan the workforce for the whole employment. Again, look at your exercises, the SAT exercises that you have to continue working on Friday. This is also the reason why, because we have to understand who's doing what, the rotation policy, the introduction of nuclear security detection within law enforcement training academy could be one of the proposals. Like Zambia gave the example, they signed an MOU with the custom academy so that the training could be instilled directly, awareness will be directly imparted to the frontline officers, the customs, through their training academy. So those are kind of a planning. Career management. Some people say that this kind of activity shouldn't be compensated through money or whatever it is, but because this should be as part of their duties. But people are people, they need motivations. How do we plan for career management of these people? So again, going back to earlier discussion, how do you choose instructor or trainers? Perhaps the people who have more capabilities, they will be part of the subject matter expert. We give them recognition now that you are subject matter expert. So you should be a people that we will be referring to. You will be helping us in developing training program and delivering training. So there are many things that we can actually explore in terms of career management that may not, because when you talk about salary scales and many other things, it's very difficult when we have a system of government working. Like you can't simply give a raise to people, because the system has other mechanism or parameters for you to decide whether this can be done or not to be done. Then we have to be much more creative in trying to show them some career development pathways. Yeah. And the performance management for the workforce planning. Workforce management has to be done periodically, and the assessment action should start from the primary alarm versus what are the action taken to improve the system and measures. So these are the workforce management and the examples. We also talk about knowledge management. This again goes to how we retain and manage the information we receive from training. So detection knowledge needs to be shared and transferred among the individuals who have the defined responsibilities under the national concept of operations. So it has to be an integrated and systematic approach to identify, acquire, transform, develop, disseminate, and using and preserving knowledge relevant to build and sustain national detection capabilities. So I think we have been seeing this concept appear before under the SAT process. So again, it supplies the same needs for knowledge management. And in your previous exercise, we talk about establishing national database. for available detection knowledge for frontline officers and experts to technical support. This is also part of the mechanism for detections, knowledge management, and promote sharing of knowledge among those who have the common responsibilities for nuclear security detection. This is also part of the mechanism. So we identify the knowledge needs that are within nuclear security detection. They need to know how to do alarm assessment, risk assessment, secondary alarm assessment, technical support, crime, radiological assessment, and crime scene. So these we identify. When we identify, we try to make sure that this knowledge will be acquired. And when they have this knowledge, there should be a mechanism to transfer the knowledge to the right person. And then this knowledge has to be preserved, and is actually an ongoing process. So this is the whole knowledge management activities. So we have to identify needs and how to do it. Knowledge network. So you have multiple people working in nuclear security detection architecture. So how do you want to make sure that they could continuously communicate this kind of knowledge? So in the IAA, we have these nuclear security support centers that promote for establishment of knowledge network management within the national competence authorities, because this will allow these people to communicate from time to time to know where we are, what we want to do in developing our overall national nuclear security capabilities. So part of your considerations that I can offer is for you to be in part of the nuclear security support center network, or you could yourself among your national security detection architecture to develop this network to discuss the needs for training and other human resource development for detection. So these are the considerations under the knowledge network. I'll give you an example for knowledge management and network in Malaysia. They define their nuclear security similar to the IA guidances on prevention, detection and response. So they know the laws, they need to build capacity building, and they want to sustain these activities. So they start with coordination chaired by national security councils, and they have this plan for overall nuclear security needs under the INSSP. So the national capacity building is the implementing authority, is the regulatory body. They are the one who will be looking at the dimensions of what areas that need to be developed to support this defined task. And they are giving this responsibility to the NSSC Malaysia, and they identify all relevant nuclear security stakeholders that would have the roles to play in developing and sustaining national capabilities. So they do training, tabletop exercise under the center, they do nuclear security laboratories for maintenance of equipment, alarm assessment, and then they start to share best practice and experience sharing. This is where you are actually making sure you disseminate information for the purpose of retaining your information and knowledge. So these are one of the examples. It is not the best, but this is part of the example that I have that I can share with you in terms of how they perform knowledge network to build national capacity for nuclear security. The role is to train authorized users, sustain nuclear security detection equipment, perform detection and response activities. It's an expert support. They want to optimize national resources, because when you know the stakeholders under the national security support centers, you have custom, you have police, you have the regulators. So each of them have training centers. Each of them has some funding for trainings. So if you can actually leverage these available resources, you are actually minimizing the new requirement for the resources in terms of financial elements. So this is why it is actually to optimize natural resources, and also for them to share good practices and experiences. These are the centers, some of you have visited them. So basically, again, building capacity actually requires assessment and strategic planning process. You have to document it, implement, and make a progress monitoring of these activities from the elements that we defined earlier, and then there will be continuous evaluation, and this is a continuous process. Do you remember the elements of building capacity? You could mention at least two. At least I will feel happy that you are listening to me today. What are the two elements? There are few elements. There are numbers of elements. Do you remember? Building capacity. What is the elements? Talk about That is the roles. That is the roles. Yeah, governmental, organizational, and individuals. These people have the roles to play. So what do we have to give them? What program we have to give them in building capacities? Come on, guys. Training. More?
Yes.
What else? We talk about training and awareness. Education. Workforce management, knowledge network, knowledge management. So there are 6 elements that you have to consider. Please don't forget. Okay, so these are the whole concept of building capacity for nuclear security detections. In short, we are trying to achieve these capabilities by this kind of methods and process. So we are applying the concept, yeah? So what we have tomorrow, you will see how are we supporting these activities. We introduce international training courses. Yeah, like this one and nuclear security detection awareness. Tomorrow you will see the contents of the courses. What we can support member states with in building capacities. I'm not going to detail out this one because there will be a specific discussion on this in this topic. We have regional and international workshop, threat assessment, risk-informed approach, risk-informed detection strategy, architecture, design plan. And then we have also detection operations, sustainable training program like this one, evaluation exercises, and it is actually based on nuclear security series. We give some prerequisite and the objective of each individual trainings. And then I promise you that I will share tomorrow. We help in designing workshop to design roadmap for NSDA, nuclear security detection architecture. This is going to be launched next year with the African focus activities countries. And then, of course, we also contribute in terms of supporting development of nuclear security support center for laboratories, testing, calibrating, maintaining your handheld instruments, advanced detection technique for the expert support. So these are partly what we can provide you, and there are lots of training courses at the national level that can be derived from this structured program. For example, detection training for frontline officers, alarm assessment, maintenance of radiation detections, and that's it.